Hey guys, today I want to talk a little bit about what's going on here. We have had an influx of expats pouring in here lately. Some of them have been expats we worked with before, and we've been still helping them. But we are getting a lot of people pouring in here, and it looks like our community is starting to grow more. And a lot of the expats are starting to work together, starting to get friendlier, starting to get to know each other, and they're making friends, and they're working with each other, whatever, and helping each other out. And the people that have been here for a while are helping the other people get situated. They share information, which is kind of cool. So the community is working as I had hoped, kind of. Are there issues? There's always issues, and we try to resolve those issues. Are there people problems? There's people problems. But you know what? In the end, we try to be more understanding here in our group towards people's issues. We know we're going to run into people that have whatever, some sort of issue, and we just try to accept it and work with it. Sometimes we bring it to their attention in a kind way and let them know, and hopefully they try to work on that issue. When they have people problems or whatever, we just try to bring it to their attention. We try to be more kinder, gentler here. It's just the way to be in the world. I think, loving people rather than hating people is much better. It's much easier. Or getting nasty with people, or just cutting people off or whatever out of your life. Sometimes people make mistakes. They're going to make mistakes. We still have to live with those people, unfortunately. Sometimes, and sometimes the best way is just deal with them in a loving way. Doesn't mean you have to be around them 24/7, but sometimes we have people in the community here. They're a little bit tougher than other people. But you know what? We live with them. We work with them. And it's just part of life. A lot of people say, well, in the United States, I dealt with that, Steve. I don't want to deal with it over here. Over here, the majority of Filipinos are decent, good people. But you're going to run into some Filipinos that can be tough too. But the majority of Filipino are nice people. But yes, expats can certainly have their issues sometimes, but the majority of expats that we have in the community so far have ended up being really nice people. And I'm kind of happy that we have this community here and it's working out. And the other night we had a lot of people come over to the house. We had a little expat party. And it was interesting. We had this German American who come over. His name is Klaus. Klaus is an excellent guy, really nice person. And he brought a friend over, and we had him over, and we just enjoyed the day. And then we also had a bunch of expats come over a couple days before that, and we had a little meeting of the minds, and sat down and enjoyed ourselves and got to know each other and talk and chat, and we got to see what's coming in the future, kind of what's it going to be like here in the future with all these expats. And it was kind of nice because we sat down, we talked, we chatted, we enjoyed each other's company. We've been riding around a lot with each other lately, going to the malls, going out to eat. I've been getting some invitations to go out to eat and stuff, which sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. I always try to, but sometimes something comes up or whatever. And I do have a couple of appointments coming up soon where I'm going to be going out to eat to meet some of the newer expats here. And some of them are older expats that invited me over, which would be interesting. But we enjoy ourselves here, and we live in friendship. I'll just say that. There's a lot of us over here, but it's been busy. And this past week I've been kind of stressing, taking my blood pressure medicine because we've had so much work. My girlfriend and I have been out running around with expats, helping them, and also showing apartments, showing rentals, meeting with people, sitting down with people, talking to them, just giving them the rundown of how things work here. And they ask a lot of questions and everything. And some days it can be kind of stressful because we're juggling sometimes 3 or 4 people during the course of the day. So we're kind of switching back and forth and everything. And we have the car rental. We have to juggle that back and forth with people. We haven't had to use the second guy that we usually use, fortunately. Unfortunately for him, though, but he charges a little bit more. So we try not to use him that much, but he's worth it because he has a bigger car. But we try to keep the cost down for all the expats as much as we can, and that's been helping out a lot. But you know something, I got to tell you, I wasn't sure how this community was going to pan out in the beginning, and it's panning out really, really good. And I'm really happy when I talk to the expats, the newer expats, and I hear that they're talking to each other and they're chatting amongst each other and working together to go get food, running out together. One will ask the other, hey, you know, is it okay if I, you know, if I ride along with you? And then they say yes, or sometimes they get invited or whatever. It works both ways, and people are saying yes, and they're helping out each other. We do get some people that don't want to help out each other, but that's their prerogative, but they can still be part of the community. And one of the things in the community that I've stressed with people here is make sure, if you're in the Philippines, and this goes for anybody, whether you're in this community or not, is that you plan on your death. And some of these expats say, well, when I die, I don't care, I'll get cremated. Well, did you make sure that you have money aside for somebody to cremate you? That's the issue. So, and also you want to make sure that you set aside money if you want to be spread over the ocean, to have people to bring you down to the ocean and spread you out over the ocean. Or if you want a grave, you can buy a grave and be buried. And you know, a grave over in the Philippines is not that much money. If you can buy one that you can be buried in forever. So I hear people saying, well, Steve, you know, they have these graves where they dig you up after a while. And that is true. You have to pay rent in these cemeteries or whatever, up in Manila and some other places. But most of the places south around here, you buy the grave, it's your grave for good. Okay, it's yours. So it's not something you really have to worry about. They're not going to dig you up or anything like that. I know a lot of people here, a lot of the expats, they believe in cremation. I myself don't. But if you're going to go that route, you can get these cards. I think they're called St. Peter's cards or something like that. I'm not really that up on this stuff. I haven't looked into it, but people have been telling me you can buy this little card, you put it in your wallet, and when you die, you can take it out. Your girlfriend can take it out, bring your body to the funeral home, and they just cremate you. They give her the box. She can go, you know, put it wherever she wants to put it. Now, pretty much you can kind of bury that anywhere. Nobody's even going to know that you're buried, you know, because it's just ashes. So, I mean, a lot of people say, well, I want to be buried in a cemetery. Well, at that point there, you could go hiking out in the mountains of a national park or something like that in the Philippines or someplace and probably bury it there and nobody would even know. It's just a bunch of ashes, but I'm not sure if that's allowed or not. Or you could do a burial at sea, which would be allowed. You know, we did a burial at sea here for a German fellow that passed away, and we actually videotaped it too. It was actually it was a beautiful ceremony that we had. But I just want you guys to think ahead a little bit. Maybe have some sort of insurance, life insurance or something, or savings for your death or whatever. A lot of people over here, they just don't do it. So when these people die, it's rough on everybody. It's rough on the friends that you leave behind, because the friends are struggling to get some money together to bury you, because they loved you, you know. And don't do that to your friends. Don't do that to anybody. You know, it's just not something you really want to do. But anyway, guys, I want to throw that out there a little bit. We've talked about that before. I want to bring it up again because we have such an influx of expats over here heading all over the place on different budgets. And I hope people listened a little bit about having that emergency money around. And sometimes, you know what, that emergency money is going to get used up with you in the hospital, because most of the times people die in the hospital sometimes over here. Sometimes they die in their sleep, but if they die in the hospital over here, you have hospital bills to pay before your body's going to be released and gets released to the funeral home or whatever. So that's the way things work. It's a tough thing to think about and a tough thing to talk about, but it's a thing that we all must think about at some time in our life. And you know, we had a few people pass away here over the past 4 years that I've been here, and I'm going to tell you something. It's hard. It's tough, because if these people didn't properly plan and go into an attorney and stuff like that, it's even hard to bury the body sometimes here in the Philippines. So I want you guys to consider that, because you need to put somebody in charge of your body. You need to make sure that the will's written out the proper way so your girlfriend can have the money to bury you, or a friend, or whoever. And make sure that you have somebody in charge to call your relatives back home, if you want relatives back home called, to let them know that you passed away. That's the problems. And a lot of people don't want to think about this stuff because they think, well, I'm never going to die. I'm not going to die that soon. You know, I'm fairly healthy right now. Well, we're not healthy. We're old. You know, we're old. I'm getting ready to hit 59. I'll be 60 in another year after that. And about another year and a month, I'll be 60. Do I feel 60? No, I don't. But you know what? I know at some point, that day is going to come when I do pass away. And when I do pass away, I don't want anybody to be struggling, you know, to bury me, or be asking for money, or whatever, to be begging in my family. I don't want that to happen. So I made sure I had life insurance that I bought, and I pay monthly for that. And it grows and it grows and it grows. And I hope to God it's enough in there to take care of my girlfriend. You know, it's about it's $25,000, but it grows. It's like a whole life policy, and it grows. And that's what I want it to do. So I want to keep up with inflation, so it's always equal to that same 25,000, and it does. It grows pretty decent. Anyway, guys, I want to throw that out there just for you guys and talk about all this stuff because I think it's kind of important. Anyway, God bless, guys. Take care.